Well, hello and welcome to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahidah, and my fabulous co-host, Tracey. Tracey
Hey
is
y'all.
traveling. So
I
how
know.
are
Do y'all
you?
do y'all see my background looks different? Looks
hmm
kind of not like my home. I'm good. I'm in beautiful Tucker, Georgia right now.
And looking fabulous. So you must have had a great day.
Thank you. I did. I did have a fabulous day. I had a fabulous weekend, I should say.
hmm
So, yeah, I did have a good time today. I've been running all day.
I've been running, but not like that.
I was going to
Not
say like
having
what
fun.
did you have like sports stuff going on? What have you been doing this weekend?
So, well, I have, guys know I'm with the Rhode Island Coalition of Black Women, and we have a big coalition meeting tomorrow. And I invited the mayoral candidate, David Morales. So I've been preparing for that. But I don't know if I told you all, okay, you have a daughter,
Yes.
right? So we have daughters, and daughters check you, they keep you humble. And my daughter, and she gonna hear this too. My daughter last week, I talked about. I went to the doctor, and the doctor said I was 158 pounds,
Okay.
and I said, I'm not gonna cry in front of you right now. I'll wait till I get to the car because I'm like 158 pounds. Where? But anyway, so I said to my daughter, I said, the doctor said I was 158 pounds. Do I look 158 pounds? And she did one of these.
And
And I'm
that's a
like,
rude awakening
I'm
sometimes when
like,
you
really?
think you look a certain way and then you're like, or like they're like, oh, somebody said we're the same size. I'm like, I ain't the same size as so and so, and but you are. And it's happened to me. It's happened to me.
And
And I got
she's
that look.
like, if I'm nice to you and say, "Oh no, you don't look bad for 158," then you're just gonna go downstairs and eat a piece of cake. So I'm just telling you, girl, you need to hit the gym. And I have been hitting the gym and exercising every day since then. Feelings hurt.
I don't know if you look 158 though.
It don't it I'm gonna go with her. I'm gonna go I'm
But
gonna go with her.
I love that she was using reverse psychology on you. You know what I
Was it
mean? But I
though?
mean, but so put it into this perspective. I don't think I've been 158 since middle school, and
158 in
probably
middle
won't never get there ever again. I would love to get on a scale and then tell me 158.
Mhm.
So,
Um, Maybe because I've never been, and I feel it. I know it's, and it's not even like it's all over. Like it's spread all over. I got big hips, big thigh. No, it's just concentrated in one area. I just know that I need to exercise more and I need to get healthier, and that's just all there is to it. And I'm not faking the funk anymore. Like, oh well, the six is maybe it's a little tight, but no, 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 no. But I was okay going from a size 4 to a 6. I don't need to go from a 6 to an 8. I don't want to. That's just for me and my body. So I need
mhm.
to get it all together. So this weekend, last weekend I actually joined the gym. So I joined the Y over on Hope Street. So I've been trying to do.
Yes. And you
Been.
said you're gonna do like some swimming. You're gonna do some
hmm
other
I signed up for
cardio. That's
swimming.
what's up.
I signed up for swimming. I went for the what was it called? The strength and no no strength and training yoga today. It was actually pretty good. Yeah, I'm out of shape because those women in there, they've been there
Isn't
a while.
it a
It was
rude
my first
awakening?
day.
And this
It
is
was
the
my
second time
first
I'm
day.
saying rude awakening. But I'll never forget. This is years ago. It's probably like over a decade ago. I worked at the car dealership, so I
hmm
decided I was gonna sign up for the gym. Blah blah blah. I went over there and I like inked a good deal for the gym membership and all that stuff. And my coworker, who was in his 60s, an older man, went
Supposed
to
to be
the
the
same
worst.
gym. When I tell you he was tearing up that elliptical and I could barely get on there for 2, 3 minutes and I was winded. It was so bad. And he was just, I mean, he was, Eventually I got there,
Mhm.
over time, but I was just like, yo, I'm in really bad shape.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. The elliptical is not as bad. That Stairmaster is a killer.
Oh yeah,
I don't think I
Stairmaster
ever
will
will
ruin
master
you.
that one. That is a killer. But yeah, so that was my pretty much so my weekend. I wasn't, out and about doing, great things in Georgia. What else you do in Georgia this weekend?
So, but what you're doing is important because what you're doing
It's
with
important.
candidate Morales is epic. We need that. We need you in the trenches on that kind of stuff. But I came out for the Miss Pat Fan Appreciation Weekend. And Miss Pat is a comedian. I feel that I have to explain this because I've spoken to many people who are like, they don't know who Miss Pat is. And I was like, really? I'm a
I didn't know
little
who she was until
I
you
say
told
it
me.
like I'm saying, like this who I think should be a household name because she just to me is a really great comic. She has a great story.
Mhm,
Most of her stand up is based on her lived life experience that most people would curl up and die if those
mhm,
things happen to them. Just if one of the things that happened to her happened to some people,
mhm,
they it's like, how do I find the will to go on? She had a train wreck of a childhood and like a
mhm,
young adulthood. And now she's come up, on the other side of it. And she's just a really humble person. So she does a fan appreciation weekend. Um, and I just love her comedy. So I was like, I'm gonna come out, and she did Friday night. She did a comedy show, so that was
mhm,
really amazing. So I did the 3 day pass. I did the comedy show Friday night. Saturday night she had a costume party, and when I tell you, it was decorated better than some people's weddings that I've been to. It was spectacular decor. They brought trees indoors. There were like topiaries, like
uh-huh,
almost floor to ceiling topiaries. I mean, like plush. The colors were emerald, green, and
mhm.
gold. She gave out so much swag. Um, she definitely took an L. Like she did not make money on this event. You know,
Mhm,
some entertainers or celebrities will do things and they're definitely turning a huge profit. She's
mhm,
losing money on this event because she really does it for the fans. I mean, when I tell you she fed us buffet style and we ate, and then she had open bar all
mhm,
night at the
mhm,
costume party. And then today she had a brunch and she recorded her podcast during the brunch. And she gave us a sneak preview of season 5, episode 1 of the Miss Pat show. So again, her show is its 5th season.
mhm,
And so I just feel like, oh my God, everybody should know who this is. But, you know, it's all good. The people who know her and love her. I mean, when I tell you people came from Canada, I've heard that in prior years, people came from London, England. People came from
mhm,
all over the country and the world to be here this weekend. And when I tell
mhm,
you, it's not who you think it is. It's not all middle-aged Black women. It's young, it's old, it's white, it's Black, it's Asian, it's
mhm.
Latino, it's LGBTQ. It's her fans are everybody.
Good for her. I mean, I have never even heard of a celebrity doing a fan appreciation weekend. I mean,
That's just
you
who she
know
is.
that you so is it for like a select number of fans, or is just open to her fans? How did you hear about it? Is like a newsletter, or is it just really just open to all of her fans?
So I think I may have been listening to her podcast one day and she
Mhm.
announced it, or maybe I really don't remember the origin of where I first
Okay.
heard about it. But
Mhm.
then, as I was listening to the podcast, she kept like, saying that it's going to be good. And then I started looking on Instagram and Facebook at the pictures from the
Mhm.
prior years. She does not play when it comes
Mhm.
to the setup and like the decor for her party. And this year the theme for the appreciation party was movies, so she
Mhm.
encouraged guests to come dressed as movie characters.
Mhm. So
Last year
who'd you
it
go
was
dress as?
TV. Oh, I had to put on, so I went as Niecy from Baps. Do you remember that movie?
Yes, you got to show us a picture.
I know I have to.
You don't have a
I'll
picture on
put
your
it up.
phone?
I'm on my phone right now,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
but
I
I will
want to
show
see it
you
right
guys. And I did the hair.
now.
And I did the all orange look that Nisi
Do you have a
did.
wig or
Yes,
you just
ma'am.
worked with your
Yes,
hair?
ma'am. The wig was up here.
I want to see this. I gotta see this picture. I gotta
And
see
I
this
will
picture.
say, I feel I was robbed for first place prize, but I was
Uh-huh.
called onto the stage as like a contender for
Hmm.
the costume prize. But there were some wonderful costumes. Maleficent won. There were two girls dressed like Cinderella's ugly stepsisters, and they looked just like them. It was wild. There was a
Hmm.
guy. There was Prince. Someone came as Pootie Tang. This Pat
Hmm.
was Cruella Deville, and she had like the hair, she had the polka dots. There
Hmm.
was so many characters, and then there were the Smurfs, so Papa Smurf and Smurfette.
Hmm. Oh
It
my
was
God, this
wild.
sounds so fun.
It was a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
I will, because her show was on BET Plus, right?
Yes, BET
And I
Plus, but
don't
I
have
watch
BET.
it on Hulu.
Oh, get out. It's on Hulu?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yep,
didn't know that. Okay, all seasons on Hulu or
all
just
the
like
seasons.
okay, I will look it up then. I think I watched like the very first two episodes because I think I had like BET Plus for free for a weekend or something, and then I watched it because you were talking about her, and that was like maybe a couple of months ago, and I watched it, so I'll check it out.
And
That's really cool.
she's very much herself, so she's going to cuss a lot,
Hmm.
and she's with some, she's almost like, she reminds me of a Cardi B. Like the reasons we like Cardi B is because she doesn't hold her tongue. She's
Hmm.
what some people might consider rough around the edges, but she's
Hmm.
so real and this is her reality. Like she's bringing her
Hmm.
a fictionalized version of her reality. So some people are like, oh, she's so crass, she cusses, she's so vulgar, this and that,
Hmm.
but that's what I
I mean,
like
I
about
cuss.
her. And but my
Hmm.
mom, who I think I've heard my mom swear one time, and it was like by
Hmm.
accident in my entire life. My
Hmm.
mother's 80 years old. I put
Hmm.
that show on for my mother, and she was eating it up. She loved it. She
My
loved it.
mom don't curse either. I don't know where I came from because I can lay them all out.
I know where I came from. That started in the second grade on the playground. I was like, ooh, none of the teachers are over here. I don't know where the teachers were, but us little band of
Hmm.
little rapscallions were out there just cussing up a storm in second grade.
That's
That's where it
funny.
started for
All
me.
right, so I will check it out. So other than that, it was an interesting week. We lost two greats, one in music, one in movies, Diane Keaton and D'Angelo, which both of them took me by surprise.
Yeah,
But I was extremely more surprised by D'Angelo because he was what, 51 years old.
so young. I don't need. Was he 51?
I think he was 51.
Yeah, he's not far off from me. He was
I
pretty
know
young.
he. Hmm?
He's not far off from and I had a nerve to say he's not that far off. He's pretty young. He wasn't young. He was 50, but he was like, you know what I mean? But to die, unexpectedly, and I guess he was private about his
51?
illness. So, that was it. But,
Yeah.
we remember the iconic video, Untitled, aka How Does
Mhm.
It Feel, where we were all trying to look down the inside of the TV to see down into that V, that iconic V
That man
with
was
the
cut,
rippled abs,
cut,
and
cut.
just a beautiful man with a gorgeous voice, just a
Mhm.
delightful voice. And neo soul was kind of
Yeah.
new-ish for us at the time, and he was one of
Mhm.
those voices that really, him, Erica Badu, they brought that just like soul back, because we had a lot of
Yeah.
pop and R&B leading up to that in the 80s and 90s, and it was all like very radio friendly kind of dance tunes, and he just brought, for his age at the time, because then he would have been the same age as me, like early 20s, to bring that kind of soulfulness to the
Mhm.
scene was like incredible. Then we learned that Angie Stone had a child with him, and like she was such an
Yeah.
iconic singer, and she just passed away recently.
And
So
that was this year as well, right?
within the year, yeah, it
Yeah,
was like
I
not too
thought
long
this
ago.
year.
And so their
Mhm. Mhm.
son, has lost both their parents, and he's still a very young man. It's really, really sad. And to find out it
Mhm.
was like cancer, is even more sad because, you
Yeah.
wonder like how could it have been prevented? Could it be prevented? I actually read up a little bit on it, and they were saying that sometimes that type of cancer, I think it was pancreatic, I believe,
Yeah.
um, is hard to identify until it's almost too late, but there are
Yeah.
pre-screenings you can get if you're
Mhm.
concerned. And usually family
Yeah.
history is what allows you to have the pre-screening by the insurance company, at, I guess, without the hassle. But I encourage Black
Yeah.
men especially to stay on top of your health, get your colonoscopies, get your whatever. If you see something weird, you feel something weird,
Mhm.
go to your doctor. And he may have done all of those things, and it
Yeah.
just was his destiny, but
Yeah.
that was really sad.
Yeah. And then Diane Keaton before him, earlier in the week, she passed
Yeah.
away, and
79?
I
Is
was a
she
huge
70?
fan. Yes, she was 79. 79 or 78, one of the two. And I was a huge fan of hers. And then you mentioned something about who was it? Woody Allen. And I know that that was like the start of her career. She did a lot of Woody Allen movies, and we know that he's a very problematic person in Hollywood right now, and a lot of people have distanced themselves from him. And you were saying that you, you were not a fan of hers because of her relationship or continuing relationship with him.
So I want to what I want to say is that I'm not saying I'm not a fan of hers. I Nothing takes away from her talent, and I also like really appreciated her androgynous style of dress, because I'm a fashion girly, so I'm always going to be
Mhm,
out here riding for somebody with a cute outfit on and their own personal style.
mhm,
What bothered me, and I didn't even think about it until she passed away. So like literally it's not like something I thought about all the time, like, oh, that damn Diane Keaton. But what happened was she defended him a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? She
mm.
defended him after the
I have
allegations came
never
out.
after
And
he married
his own daughter, his daughter, because it was his adopted daughter. So, that's
his
one thing.
adopted daughter,
And you know what? Morgan
that he
Freeman,
raised from a baby.
that he raised from
No,
an
I think
infant.
a was it an
A
infant or
child.
a
She was a
teenager?
child. She was a kid. She was
It
under
doesn't matter.
18. It
It
was his
doesn't matter.
wife's daughter. It's your wife's
Mhm,
daughter. I don't care how you slice it. And I think she was at
mhm,
least under, she was young enough where she was a girl when
mhm,
she was adopted. So that's
mhm.
one thing.
He
And you
took
know
on
what?
the father role.
It's your
That's what
wife's
happened.
daughter, and you
Mhm,
all have a
mhm,
kid together. But what burns me
mhm,
is, and I watched this documentary about 4 years ago. Mia Farrow and her daughter did a documentary explaining
mhm,
the abuse that the daughter endured from Woody Allen. And so
mhm,
it's not just he married his stepdaughter. Because I'm like, you know what? If you want to, split hairs, they're not biologically related. She
mhm.
was an adult when they got married. Morgan Freeman did the same thing with his granddaughter. Disgusting, but not illegal.
He
What I
married his granddaughter? Wait,
Morgan
what?
Freeman, I don't know if he married her, but he was definitely dating her.
His granddaughter?
His step
Oh, I
granddaughter,
did not
whatever.
know.
His wife's granddaughter, whatever. It's your granddaughter.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
we can
look
we
that
can
up.
Google all that.
That's
We'll put those articles up there. But the
okay.
documentary, and I can't remember the name of it, but Mia Farrow and her daughter who alleges the abuse. First of all, if someone says they
Mhm,
were molested, I'm prone to want to believe them. Um,
mhm,
and whatever. But the thing that bothered me, and it's not just Diane Keaton, because I don't want to just isolate her. Many people still supported Woody Allen after he married his stepdaughter, his adopted daughter, and after the allegations of abuse for his own biological daughter came out. And Diane Keaton
Mhm,
continued to support him. She continued to support him. She continued to, and it's not just her. People still said to be like, Woody Allen was one of the greatest film directors. I don't give a fuck. If you
mhm.
molested your own daughter, I'm not interested in how talented you were. And then it's like the Chris Brown stuff. And a lot of people have forgiven Chris Brown, a lot of fans for what he did to Rihanna. Rihanna even forgave Chris Brown.
Mhm.
I do not forgive him. I will not buy a ticket to a show. I don't even play his music because I don't fuck
And
with
I think
Chris
when we
Brown.
say Rihanna has forgiven him, there's a difference between saying, you know what, I'm gonna just let that part of my life go and I
Move
forgive that
on.
person
Yeah.
and just go on. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's like, oh, I want to have dinner with this person. And that's forgiveness, is when you can associate with that person again.
Yeah.
She's probably just doing it like, I'm not gonna stew in this hate anymore
Yeah.
kind of
And people
forgiveness,
do change,
Uh,
but he doesn't seem to be changing.
mhm.
And I'm
He,
talking
he
about Chris
hasn't.
Brown. But I really
Hmm.
feel like with Woody Allen, it's there's too many red flags. There's too many red flags. You married
Hmm.
your own a girl that you brought into your home and raised as a daughter, and then your own daughter said you molested her. And Mia Farrow backs that up as her mother,
Biological daughter?
his biological daughter.
His
There's a documentary out about it. It's crazy. It was like one of those ones I couldn't stop watching. I had to keep like watched the whole thing. I think I binged it in 2 days, and it's all about that. But I've seen Salma Hayek, other people who've gotten roles in his movies after all these allegations sit up there and just say how amazing they think this man is. And I'm like, no, y'all are giving him a pass because he's a man and he's a Caucasian man. This is the only reason you're giving him all these passes. It can't just be he's such a talented director. Freaking Roman Polanski was a talented director. He was also a child molester.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know, like
And I
come
think,
on.
first of all, I will say this. I mean, have you ever watched any Woody Allen movies,
No, because I'm
including
not
the one
I
with
tried and
her
they're
in it?
not funny to me. I don't get them.
They he to me, it has he has always been overrated. Overrated. I don't Yeah, I can't I'm not
I
gonna
think it's a
argue with
culture
people
thing.
about,
I think it's a
the
culture thing.
quality.
I've never met a black
It could
person
be. I just
say
never
how,
found them that great.
and I will bring race into it. I've never met a black person that was like, "Oh my God, Woody Allen." It's always white people. I'm just keeping it real, and that's fine
I feel that there
culturally.
are quite a few. Mhm.
I don't know any. I don't know
And
any,
then
and
it was like
I'm good.
he brought that supposedly, aesthetic to New York. That was his shtick, the kind of young urban professional from the 70s and the 80s, and that was his shtick, and almost Seinfeldish. And Seinfeld was funny, but it's to me, it's not one of those, in my opinion, that holds up as, oh, I can see that being a classic that I'm gonna, continuously watch. But anyway, no, I never thought that Woody Allen was as talented as they said. He probably is a good director. His movies probably fit the time, but I just never found any worth in them. But I did not know. I knew that his son, who's a writer, I can't think of his name right now, but he's a very good writer, a very good political writer. I know that he said that his father was a monster. And so I kind of went from what he said. And I didn't know that she was one of the ones that was like staunchly defending him. But I think unfortunately, especially in the 70s and 80s and 90s, a lot of us stood by too many men when it came to some type of sexual assault on a woman. A lot of us did. I even think about like Clarence Thomas, that whole situation, and how so many women, so many black churches, so many black women really just annihilated her character. And
Anita
even
Hill,
with
yeah.
Mike Tyson and yeah, Anita Hill,
Desiree.
but even with Mike Tyson and obliterated these women. So I can see a woman coming up from that era and seeing that, but over time, do you not change your point of view on that?
Well,
Because
so I mean, so, and I hear you because we had a lot of toxicity in the 80s and 90s when it came to assault
Mhm,
on women. But his daughter was like 8. She wasn't, you know what I mean? It was
mhm,
his biological child. It wasn't some woman he was like having an audition
mhm,
with and she wanted to get a role and things went too far. This is his child from his loins, and he would
mhm.
like take her up into the attic and molest her. And that's why the son
See, I
changed
did
his name
not.
to
I
Pharaoh.
did not know
The
that. But
son uses the last name Pharaoh, if I'm
mhm,
not mistaken. He actually disowned the
Pharaoh, yeah,
Allen name
I can.
because of all this, because of what was happening to his sister.
Mhm. And so they did it. So was he ever arrested? Because I know
No,
I felt like he was arrested at one point.
I
No,
don't know.
he wasn't
I don't
arrested.
remember that in the documentary. Um, I I don't remember him
Hmm.
having any consequences. Put it like
Yeah,
that.
because I feel like most of the consequences, in my opinion, during that time fell back on Mia Farrow. So people made it about her
Mm-hmm.
being angry that he left her
About
for
Sunyi,
her daughter.
Sunyi Previn.
Right.
Right.
So if, any other abuses, it was just like, oh, she's making it up, and I think that's probably what a lot of people probably fell on in like the 90s when that came out. But fast forward to 20 years ago, if you're still thinking in that same way, then yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think if you were defending him in the moment and you didn't know all the details, this is your friend. This is your friend who you love and you have a certain relationship with. I can understand it. But again, 20 years when that young girl grows up to be a woman and she tells her story and you're still saying, "Well, I don't think it happened." Ugh, that's
And that's what they
problematic.
called Keaton. They called her a staunch supporter of Woody Allen, like a staunch supporter,
Really? I did not
despite the
know that.
allegations. Yeah, and I was just like, I'm not saying that people shouldn't, mourn her or feel like a loss, because when people you grew up loving in entertainment pass away, you feel like I felt that D'Angelo thing hard. I felt Whitney Houston. I felt Prince. I felt Michael Jackson, even though he had child abuse allegations, and a lot of people kind of turn the other way on that, and it's kind of still like, did he, didn't he type thing. But I think with this Woody Allen thing, there's no did he or didn't he. It's almost certain that
Mhm,
he did do the two terrible things, the two worst things that he could possibly do to young underage women, because I think that he was waiting for
mhm,
that girl to become 18 to make it official as his wife. It felt like he was scheming on her. Like
mhm,
y'all fell into bed together. I don't understand. I don't understand. That's like me looking at
mhm.
one of my sons and thinking, oh, I want them to be my lover. Like that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like it's disgusting to
Yeah,
even think about, like, whether they were biological or not. If even like a niece or a nephew. But I mean, people are like, he's sick. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
he's a pervert. He's depraved.
Mhm,
And I don't know. I just was just like, I have mixed feelings about that. But like I said, I feel the same way about other people that have supported him throughout his career. And maybe he's sitting down to dinner with them and saying, oh, they're making this up about me or whatever. I don't know. But I'm like, you're not making up the part about he married his stepdaughter. We all see that publicly. It's very obvious. I
yeah.
think he's He's
Mhm.
just like
And
not
they have, like,
somebody.
3 kids or something, right? They
I
have, like,
think
3
so.
children together, yeah, well, Diane Keaton and Something's Gotta Give, that was my movie for the longest time. I
What
would
was that
play
film
that
about?
all the time.
I remember her
That
in
one
Baby
was with
Boom.
her and Jack Nicholson,
Okay.
and I loved Baby Boom too, that was one of my favorites, but Something's Gotta Give was, like, my top tier favorite. It was her and Jack Nicholson, and, Jack is still trying to, be that playboy, and he was dating this young girl, and she comes home to their Hampton house, and Diane Keaton is her mother, and then he has a heart attack. The girl leaves him, and so Diane Keaton has to take care of him, and they kind of like, almost like a Woody Allen movie, like
But I'm
a
just like,
Woody Allen
like
reality. And I love the
that's
movie, but oh, that's
that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
80s and 90s, so toxic,
yeah. Maybe
so
that's why. Maybe
toxic.
that's why she was just like, it could happen. It could happen, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but she was
so
an icon.
yesterday was No King's Day,
Yes.
and you said that even in Georgia, you saw a few No King signs around, but here in Providence and New York and all the major big cities, there were huge amount of people, and believe it or not, I saw people all. I mean, I wasn't going to go because I strongly believe that when it comes to marching, I'm there for every mass boycott, but when it comes to marching, ooh, I gotta stop that. She got Well, hello again. Unfortunately, this week we did have some technical difficulties, and the second portion of our podcast did not upload. Well, one part of it uploaded, but the two of us together actually did not upload. And we did a whole segment on ice, and we will, bring that up in a next episode, just a short clip on that. But we apologize for this little mishap, and we will um, pick this up next week. So have a great week.